So last episode, I think we talked a lot about the business aspect of owning a brand, which is very, very important. I feel like is damn near the top thing to know is like the business part of owning the brand, which is like getting your EIN, getting your LLC, getting trademarked, and just having being able to like file taxes and everything like that. So it's like I feel like that is very, very important. But another thing or another aspect that I feel like is important when you have a clothing brand is like creativity. Like you have to be creative as hell. Like
For
you have to
sure.
be able to make shit that's trendy. You have to be able to make shit that's fashionable. You have to be able to make shit that's eye grabbing. You have to be able to make shit that will be able to go with anybody in any type of walk of life. So y'all know this type of shit we get into today. So just like that, I'd like to welcome everybody back to the No Designer Podcast. Of course, I am your host, your boy Rell Duncan, and we are back in the lab.
Just different.
So like I say, creativity is one of like the second biggest thing that I feel like you need when you're owning a clothing brand. So ironically, today my guest, creatively made,
Yes, sir.
my
So what
boy.
what
So
what camera I'm looking at?
I'm gonna let my
This
boy
one.
introduce himself. Yeah, your camera right there.
I
So
bet. What's good, fam? My name Mark. I own a clothing company called Creatively Made, and really I started Creatively Made to cater to creatives who love God. So the whole mission really is about embracing our God-given creativity and helping others to do the same. You feel me? And when I say that God-given creativity, I feel like that's the God that lives within us all.
facts,
So
facts, facts. Because we are God.
you feel me?
We are God,
Definitely,
and God is us.
for sure.
As one. So facts, facts, facts. So talk to me. Creatively made. Like, how did you like? You say you made it for the creatives out here, but how did you come up with the name? Like, what led you to creatively made?
Oh man. So for one, I'm an artist. I've been drawing since I was 6 years old.
Okay.
So, you know, what led me to even creating a clothing brand in the first place was me wanting to express my art through clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And God pretty much gave me this vision to create a brand that represents him. So I was asking myself, like, how can I combine them two things together to create this brand? And so, I just thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, God, he the ultimate creator. He done created everything. And we all created in his image. You know what I'm saying? So creatively made, it just made sense. It just came together nicely. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. Cool. I fucks with that.
Yeah.
I fucks with that. Like we are. Like I am creatively made by the man above. I fucks with that.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
That's dope as hell. So when you decided, like, how long you had the brand?
So this brand actually very new. I started it in May.
In May.
Yeah, I had a clothing brand before Creatively Made.
And what was it?
It was called Self Made Lifestyle.
Self made. What happened to that?
So that brand I started 4 years ago, and that was more of a self development brand. Like it was about believing in yourself, trusting in yourself, self. It was like hyper focused on self. And God spoke to me one day, and He pretty much asked me like, "What about me?" Like I found that I wasn't talking about Him enough. I was talking too much about self,
Facts.
and so that's when I decided to, again, create a brand that represents him and convey more of a godly message to the world.
Facts.
You
Facts.
know,
Facts. So you say what's that? May of this year or
yeah, May of this year.
so 2023? Oh yeah. So that's fairly new.
Very new brand.
Facts. 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 But so you say you had that brand 4 years ago?
Yeah.
So altogether, how long would you say you've been in like clothing?
I mean, as it relates to me having my own clothing brand for
Yeah.
for 4 years,
4 years.
but just as it relates to me being into fashion, that's I've been doing that all my life, really.
So how long have you been into fashion? Let's get into that.
So it's funny. I really get my fashion sense from my OG.
Facts.
From my mama. She's like a fashionista. I remember my OG putting me on the True Religion back in '04, before people even knew what True Religion was.
Facts. Facts.
So I always been into fashion since I was a little boy, you know what I'm saying? And I used to piece fits together. I remember back when like the basketball jerseys was a big thing, and so I used to just piece different fits together. You know, wear this shirt with these pants, with this shoe, with this sock. So I always had an eye for it. You know, and I just pretty much cultivated that since a shorty up until now.
Facts. So you say you been had a brand for about like 4 or 5 years now, like owning a clothing brand type shit.
Yeah.
Before you switched over, so talk to us about some of the problems, like some of the ups and downs that you ran into.
Uh, I think one of the biggest problems that I did face was not understanding my business financially,
Facts.
and
In what way?
like not understanding how much money was coming in, how much money was going out, what I was spending on inventory, what I was spending on advertising, what I was spending on participating in events, you know, as a vendor, pop-up shops, throwing my own events. I just didn't really understand my business financially. And so, you know, I had to overcome that by educate myself on financial literacy, you know. So I had to.
Hold on, bro. It ain't. What happened? It'll have it. Yeah. Fast. Shit is cool. Yeah, we should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm at. All right, that's cool. All right, so yeah. Now, what you say as far as like understanding the business wise?
Oh yeah. I mean, understanding the business financially.
Right.
I
Yeah.
feel like really that's the catalyst to having a successful business. Any business, whether you in clothing or whatever you in. I think it's important to have to build a strong financial foundation and to understand your business financially by using like financial platforms like QuickBooks and Rocket Money so that you can understand how much money your business is making, how much is going out, and categorizing you with your expenses, categorizing your expenses, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's important.
Facts. So when you decided like, okay, I'm gonna start selling clothes, like how did you after you came up with the brand, like how did you go about that? Like what was the next step after you decided like, all right, this the brand name, this the logo. Where did you go from there?
From there, I mean, I wanted to patent everything, make it legal so that I can own it.
Facts.
Because I feel like ownership is very important. So, you know, I did all of the legal things that I had to do, like creating an LLC and trademarking the brand name and the logo and all of that type of stuff. And once I did that, I just got it off. I just started selling it, honestly. You know, I'm a hustler by nature. So,
Facts.
you know, I just got out here
Got it out.
and was selling it.
Facts.
You know.
So talk us through like the creative process. You say this your jacket, right?
Oh yeah. So this a jacket that I actually so this a jacket that I had an idea for, and I drew the jacket out. And from drawing it out, I sent it to my manufacturer and I asked them to make it for me. And they made it for me. And when they sent it, I painted on it myself, you dig, and just remixed the jacket, really made it to where I felt like it would be fashionable.
Facts.
And, you know, yeah, that's pretty much how I really bring a lot of my ideas into fruition. I just have an idea and I write it down so I can remember it for one. And then I draw it out. Whether it's a mock-up of a t-shirt or a jacket, or whether it be me actually creating a new logo or design or designing a new garment. You know, I just do it, then send it to my screen printer, my manufacturer, see how we can make it. We make it, and it be that.
So tell the people exactly what it is that you do, cause that's all hand paint.
Oh yeah, most
That's all
definitely.
time and that's all time and love.
Yeah, this
And
work, this
yeah,
real work
yeah.
right here.
So
Like I
so
put my hands on this,
so all your garments be hand touched, even after the manufacturers.
Most of them,
Most of them.
most of them do because so the concept of my garments, like me painting them, they all one of one, just like we are. You
Facts.
know, so that is also the meaning of creatively made. You know, it all comes back
Yeah.
full circle. Uh, but to your question, are all my garments hand painted? Yeah, most of them are. Most of them for sure.
Most of them. Facts. 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 So, what advice would you give someone that's like trying to start a business right now, a clothing business?
Well, I would say the advice I would give them is to understand that they brand and their business is two different things. Your business is you selling your products and or services, but your brand is more so of the reputation.
Facts.
It's the customer service. It's the mission and the message and everything that the brand
Facts.
stand for.
Facts.
That's the brand.
Facts.
So that for one, and then for two, I would advise any new clothing brand owner to always put their business in a position to make money because that's why we in business to make money.
Yeah.
But we don't get me wrong, we in business to create positive impact and to showcase great entrepreneurship. But at the same time, what's going to allow our businesses to have longevity and be successful is having a strong financial foundation. So always put your business in position to make money by participating in pop-up shops, even keeping a bag with you with your garments in there, so that because the thing is, it's always somebody out there looking for what you selling.
Facts.
As long as it's of some kind of quality, some decent quality, you know, and you know that like it's always somebody out there looking for it. So always put your business in position to make paper.
Facts. 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 So speaking of putting your business in position to make paper, marketing. How do you market? Like, talk to us about like some marketing strategies you use, like for your brand to like get it out there and get people to see you and notice it and shit.
So what I learned about marketing is that marketing is really just storytelling.
Facts.
It's just really you telling your story. Because at first I thought marketing, advertising, branding, I thought all that stuff was the same, but it's not. So again, marketing is really you telling your story or telling the story of your brand so that your customers and your audience can get a good understanding of what y'all stand for and what y'all represent. So the way that I market though is by creating content, you know, and kind of walking my customers and audience through processes of how I created the brand, what the brand is about, and just how we do things, just everything we stand for, and you know everything like that.
Facts. 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 So like when you making your pieces with them being one from a manufacturer already, then two, you actually taking your hard earned time and you know I'm talking about you stopping being your father.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop you taking time out being a father to make these garments to put your hands on and shit like that. So how do you incorporate pricing into that? Like how does pricing play? Well, how does the process of the garment play a role on the pricing?
That's a good question. It depends on whether the garment is a cut and sew garment or whether it's just like a garment that I purchased wholesale.
Right.
You know, so just to elaborate on that, like the difference between okay, so wholesaling is when I just buy 100 t-shirts
Facts.
and then I take it to my screen printer. They put my logo on there.
Some alpha board us.
Right,
Like
exactly.
That. Yeah.
And then cut and sew is me connecting with
The
overseas manufacturers or even manufacturers in
in the
state.
states, yeah.
And then telling them, hey, I want this jacket. I want it to have these kind of sleeves, this kind of collar, this, and they actually creating the fabric itself.
Facts.
So, you know, it all depends. Them numbers definitely got to make sense. But I do my best to make my pricing reasonable because I want my target audience and anybody who want to support the brand to be able to support the brand.
Facts.
So I'm always making sure that them numbers make sense, that we have a decent profit margin, and that is reasonable. Because we ain't trying to beat nobody upside the head with the
Facts.
price. You feel me? So I would say that.
Facts. So with that, um, are there any like garments that you like consistently make? Because I know you say like majority of your garments are like one on one. So, but is it something that's on like a website or that just like a whole like a t-shirt that's just like regular t-shirt, creatively made t-shirt, or like a jacket or a hoodie that's just like this one is just always around. You know, this a classic.
Yeah, that's the t-shirt that I got on right now. So
Okay.
I call this my remix tee.
Okay, cool.
So this always around. You can pretty much always purchase this. This I call this my winning tee. This the tee that really put the brand on. So this me hand painting the tees. They all one on one. I'm always gonna be releasing these and restocking on these. So yeah, this is that tee that again is the winning tee.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it really put the brand on.
Facts. So with that, how do you like with creating your brand and creating like do you try to like incorporate like modern day trends in your shit or do everything come like from you being an artist? It's like this shit is coming from the creative side of me, so this is what I'm gonna make and this is what I'm gonna put out aside from being like this what they wearing now. Like the jackets are looking like this, and looking like that. So I'm gonna try to put this shit together like that.
I honestly, I'm not much of a trendy person.
Facts.
I don't really follow trends. I just make what I like, honestly. And I feel like the right people they resonate with it and they love it, they rock with it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I do be inspired by certain things that I see out in the streets or whatever. And then I would recreate that and make it my own though.
Facts.
So yeah, I would pretty much say that, I be inspired, recreate things, make it my own. But a lot of my stuff definitely come from that God within me.
Facts.
I just be having ideas. Most times I don't be knowing how I be coming up with it. But
so you just be coming up with that shit.
I come up with it and I write it down
Facts.
and I create it and
Facts. So I think we touched on some of the do's, but you would highlight them about some of the don'ts in starting the brand, like some shit you just don't want to do. Starting off.
I would say don't not put the time in to educate yourself on being successful in your industry.
Facts.
Education is a priority for me personally, and it's very important. That's really how you gonna be able to be successful and kind of skip like mistakes that you don't have to necessarily make from people who are already doing it at a high level.
Facts.
By educating yourself and seeing what the successful individuals in your industry doing. So I would say always educate yourself. Always try to soak up game and then implement that education that you getting into what you're doing, because it ain't no good if you're not implementing it.
Facts.
You feel me? So yeah, I would say that.
Facts. And like I say, that's definitely what we trying to do here, what we trying to establish here for everybody that's listening, that's tuning in. If you listen to previous episodes, past episodes, basically any lane that you're in the fashion lane, if you want to do cut and sew, if you want to be a seamstress, if you want to do, like I say, hand painting, if you want to vendor, if you want to do your shit wholesale, I try to have somebody on here all the time who I feel like very like knowledgeable and like very like forespoken, so it's like they gonna drop the gems and shit like that so they could understand and y'all can skip a lot of the bullshit, because it's a whole lot of potholes through this road. This shit ain't easy, and that's what I think a lot of people get into this shit and just feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start a clothing brand, I'm gonna sell these clothes, this shit just gonna blow up, but it ain't that easy. This entrepreneur shit is not for the weak.
No, definitely.
It hit home and it hurt when your people, because that's what it's gonna be. That's what you're gonna find out real soon. Like it's gonna be your people that's not gonna support you. You're gonna get the most support from people that you don't know, and that's why education is big, because then that'll teach you how to market and learn that you got to get out here and invest in time and spending and meeting motherfuckers and politicking and meet and greets and, like you say, the pop-up shops and all that, just to spread and broaden the horizon of the brand, So speaking to that, is there any brands in Chicago that you would do like a collab with?
That's a good question.
Well, outside of Chicago, but
Um,
if it's a Chicago one, a Chicago one first, and then an outer city or outer source.
I'm gonna tell you. So, man, that's a good question. Some Chicago brands. I rock with Alonzo Jackson, Fashion Geek. Like,
Zonum,
yeah,
yeah. Shout
Zoe,
out,
yeah,
shout out,
yeah.
Geek
Shout out
Zonum.
Zoe, shout out Fashion Geek. Yeah, I love, just their just their creativity. Like everything they do over there is very innovative. It's like, anytime I see pieces from Fashion Geek, it be stuff I never really saw before from designers and people who in the fashion industry. So
Yeah, cause Zonum deep off in that shit.
yeah,
They be with them real designers and them niggas that be really making Gucci and shit like that. So they be coming with the stacked jeans you ain't seen and the
fabrics you never
yeah.
seen,
You like
cashmere
what?
fabrics,
Yeah, like where
and
you getting this shit
chenille
from?
patches.
Yeah.
But like for me, that's how I see myself. Like
Facts.
I see myself as a high level designer and artist, and anything I do, I see myself at the highest level. So that's who I want to work with. I want to work with the people at the highest level. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not willing to work with people who just starting out, who doing their thing. Because there's some dope people out here who may not be at the highest level, but they doing their thing.
Everybody definitely need a chance.
So
That's facts. So tell us like a success story that you had with the brand. Like something that you was like, or not even with this brand per se, but just like in selling clothes at the time when you was like, yeah, this is what I want to keep doing. This made me feel like, because it's a lot of moments that could break you.
yeah.
And shit that'll have you like, man, I'm not selling this shit no more. I'm not finna keep buying this shit. I'm not finna this shit not selling. I'm sitting on it, So tell us a success story, like one of them times when it was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep on going with this shit.
It really be the impact
Facts.
more than it be the income. Like
The right way. The right way,
No,
though.
for
That's
real.
how it's supposed to be, though.
Because when I tell people my story of how Creatively Made came to be formed and the mission behind it and all of that, and how it resonates with the people, like how they feel it in their spirit, that's really what I do it for. You know what I'm saying? I do it to positively impact the people, honestly. You feel me? And to touch base on what you said earlier about how some clothing brand owners can feel discouraged if they main people don't support. But for me, that's not the goal. The goal for me is to go global.
Right.
So I'm not tripping on if my people support or not.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking on a larger scale. I want people all in different continents to be wearing Creatively Made.
Facts.
All in Africa and all in Europe and in South America and in Australia. Like I want people all around the world to be wearing Creatively Made. So I'm not necessarily focused on a small group of people. But not to get too far off the question. The impact. That's what I do it for, Because I feel like when you create impact, the income gonna follow that.
Yeah, for sure.
When you have substance to what you building.
Because it's going to build that following.
Exactly. Like people that's what people resonate with. They resonate with the story and the message of it, and when you curate that, when you like really make that as strong as you possibly can and really just understand it and find a way to communicate it clearly to your people, that's what's going to allow you to make that paper that you want to make.
Facts.
You feel me?
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad you said that because it kind of reminded me of something that my homie said. My boy Boogie on Bonded with Boogie with a Precious Perspective, and he was saying like when he go do his poetry, that even he's going to kill the scene. Even if it's not a contest, if it's not whatever the fuck is going on, he's going to kill the scene. He's going to be the best person in that bitch, even if he's not the best person in that bitch.
Facts.
But it's not even about being the best person in that bitch. He say he gets his rocks from a motherfucker coming to him and being like, damn, I felt that, or that shit was dope, or, so motherfucker, hey, boy, let me follow you. It's all about presence and like you say, the impact on the motherfuckers. Like, damn, motherfuckers really felt this shit. Or when you get selling your clothes, it's just like, damn, motherfuckers really fucking with this shit. So it's like, okay, cool. But like I say, speaking to the small group of people, it's like, and I think we touched on this on one of the other episodes as far as like one of the don'ts in starting a business is don't come into this shit without a plan. And I feel like you came in it and you had a plan. You had that vision of Paris. You had that vision of a lot of motherfuckers that start this clothing shit don't have that vision of the bigger scale. It always starts little because they seen somebody else doing it, or they might have wanted to sell a tea here or a tea there, and it's like, okay, so it's like it's easier to get discouraged when your mind state ain't looking past the small shit. Like, okay, this ain't where I'm really focused on. Like, this might not even be my crowd because this shit might be so big, it might become too expensive for them.
Yeah.
Even though right now, but see, in your brain, you keep everything, but you can't help it if your shit go global. Now it's like, I gotta up the prices because this shit coming from wherever the fuck it's coming from. You see what I'm saying? So I think to touch back on one of the older episodes, don't come into this shit without having a plan.
Oh, yeah.
As far as like with this clothing, like don't come into thinking starting a clothing brand, this shit is sweet because it takes money. You need some type of income, even though it don't take a lot to start this shit off. But once you get your shit going, it takes money.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And you can lose a lot quicker the same way. We all from Chicago. We all know what the fuck going on. Nigga, you can lose that shit just like you can lose anything else. So it's like, that shit a go. So like I say, don't come into the fashion thing or the fashion lane and just think like, okay, I'm gonna sell some teas, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like, if you don't come in this shit with a plan and a motherfucking a layout for your plan, so like these are the steps I'm gonna take from this, then the third. And even if it take you a while, but to still like have that straight plan to be like, okay, look, this is the bigger picture for me, then it's like, okay, cool. But other than that, if you don't come in that shit with a plan, it can get rough for you.
You know the old saying, if you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Hey,
That's real.
that's real.
That's real. So
that's real.
I
And
really
that shit definitely applies for this shit.
I live my life off that. Like, honestly, that's like, for me, when I plan to win.
You gotta plan to win.
And that's what I feel is gonna allow any entrepreneur, whatever industry you in, that's what's gonna allow you to be successful.
Fact.
By planning to win. I feel like being successful and winning consistently, that's not like, you can't freestyle that. You can't freestyle that. Like, that's not something that happens off luck or by accident. That you got to plan. You got to plan that.
Proper preparation.
So preparation and
shit,
planning.
yeah.
So you definitely got to plan to win.
For sure.
Sure.
So, speaking of like planning, like, can you tell us like some type of ways like outside of marketing, like some unique strategies or something that you use to like boost your brand? Like, do you use like Instagram boost or like Facebook? Like you could buy a boost on Facebook or like the ads and shit like that.
Oh man, that's a good
I know
question.
you were speaking on like TikTok, a little bit off scene in the back. You were saying like like not TikTok, but like content. You create a lot of content for your shit.
Yeah, I do. So I just learned that, according to this dude who creates content, like he creates content for like these big corporations. He was basically saying how it would be wise for a clothing brand owner to master one platform, and he used Keith Lee as an example, which is the food critic. He was saying the reason Keith Lee blew up was because he mastered TikTok and he went all in on TikTok. So that's something that I'm practicing right now with my brand, to master one social platform and to build my audience off that platform and to really just go all in on that. But I haven't really, like ran any ads like that for my new brand at least. So I'm still kind of just learning and doing a little experimenting with it, but I'm not really that knowledgeable on that subject to really give game on it like that. Okay. But I will say that I think, like I say, I'm focused on mastering one platform, so that may help the next clothing brand owner as well, as opposed to trying to master Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snap. Like, that's a lot. Yeah. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it should definitely a lot. So, I know like I said, we were just talking about like you see like on a bigger scale as far as like creatively made. You see your shit Paris, France. So what future plans or like future drops do you got coming up?
Man, so creatively made, it started off as a streetwear brand, and it still is. But I want to also make it a casual wear, like formal brand too, to where I'm creating cardigans and button up tees like the dress tees and slacks and socks and all type of like knit sweaters and stuff like that
On some H&M shit.
on some like Zara type on the Zara type
Where
of
you can
vibe.
go in there and get anything.
Yeah,
facts,
like you can walk in creatively made and you can put an outfit together to where if you going out, like you know what I'm saying, you could really dress up, or you could be on some streetwear, just regular everyday type. So I want to in the future transition into that and to make it a streetwear and a casual wear brand. Yeah.
That's dope. That's actually dope. So I know you said earlier in the interview, like you've been fashionable since a young age, right?
Yeah.
So what is fashion? Like what is fashion to you?
Fashion is really like it's self-expression.
Facts.
You know, it's just really like me personally, I dress by my mood and how I feel. So, you know, when I'm putting fits together, you know, yeah, it's just self-expression. It's just about how I feel.
Facts.
You feel me? So I think fashion is art, really. It's like it's a form of art for real.
Favorite season.
My favorite season, I'm a winter baby.
Favorite season to design.
I'll say that fall, winter, you know, because I love hoodies and crew necks and hoodie sets.
Okay. Facts.
You know, them socks. I love all that.
Facts. So who would you say was your biggest supporter, males or females?
I don't know. I know, but
You don't want to say him.
no, I mean, you know, I get a lot of love from the women for sure. I feel like specifically black women.
Facts.
Black women, they support.
Shout out
to the
women
queens, to the
that
black
support.
feel
The black
me?
women that's out here supporting.
Definitely, but the guys, you know, they rock with the brand too. The guys rock with it too. But so far, I would say black women. They've been supporting me real hard.
Shout out to the black women. So
For sure.
you got anything else you wanna? Any more gems you feel like you need to drop to anybody out there that's interested in starting a brand, that's already started a brand that might not know something that you feel like you've picked up along the way that you feel like, hey, I could tell a motherfucker this because I wish a motherfucker told me that.
I know we live in this era where a lot of people, they talk down on having like a 9 to 5. And I remember when I started my first business, I was working a job, and my job was actually like my first investor for my first business. Like the income that I made from my job, I utilized that to fund my business. And because I had that stability from my job, I was able to consistently invest in my business and get my business to a point to where it was making more money than my job. Had I not had my job, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Facts.
So I would tell people to not listen to the individuals on social media who saying, "Oh, don't work a job." No, you can work a job and you can be an entrepreneur. You can do both. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you utilizing that income from that job to fund your business, you can do that. You can do that for sure.
Facts. So before we get out of here, you know, you can let the people know one more time. Name of the brand, your ads, all your Instagrams.
Yeah, so again, my name Mark of Creatively Made. All my ads on social media is at Creatively Made Brand on all platforms. Instagram, Facebook. Really, that's it. Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook. So you got any drops coming soon?
Yeah, I do. I do my best to stay on a weekly drop schedule.
Right.
So that's my goal. I want to drop every single week. So, you know, you definitely gonna be seeing some new Creatively Made next week, really.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Dope ass episode, but like I say, I appreciate you.
Most def. I appreciate you, man,
You know,
for
yeah.
having me on this joint.
Shout out to everybody that tuned in and listening. Y'all know how we get down, man. We are out of the lab. I am your boy, Rell Duncan, your favorite engineer, and we out.